Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to this full moon meditation in the solar sign of Cancer, with the full moon actually in Capricorn. So today is called a blue moon. Why do we call it a blue moon? Because anytime you have two full moons falling in the same astrological sign as we have in Cancer, the second moon is called a blue moon. So today is a blue moon. Now, we're tuning in from various geographical locations around the world as a virtual group. So I invite us to take a few moments to center ourselves, to gather our forces, and to prepare ourselves to participate in this group meditation together. So just bring yourself to a place of inner stillness, making sure any tensions are released, whether they be held in your physical, emotional, or mental bodies. And standing in this still point of presence, affirm to yourself, I am here now. I am here now. And see yourself as a point of light upon the planet. And see your light joined by lines of lighted love with other lights who are on this meditation broadcast right now. See these points connected to form a matrix of light. And then we see our matrix placed inside the larger planetary network of light as we join with our sisters and brothers around the world in this time of meditation. We are here now. Thank you. Every now and again we issue a reminder, so let's begin with that reminder. Why are we meditating at the time of the full moon? It actually has nothing to do with the moon itself. We are not focusing or meditating on the moon. At the time of the full moon, the sun, the moon, and the earth are in complete alignment, whereby the light of the sun is reflected to earth by the whole face of the moon, so that maximum light reaches us from our source of life, the sun. And the sun, in the words of an ancient prayer, is described as the being from whom all things proceed and to whom all things return. So in this time of the lining up of the sun, the moon, and the earth, we have what I would call a direct spiritual line of sight. And this unobstructed alignment between earth and the sun actually corresponds to the unobstructed and direct relationship we are seeking to achieve between the soul and the personality, which is its incarnated agent on earth. So at a microcosmic level, we are going through the same process of alignment. So at the period of the full moon, the Ageless Wisdom Teachings says there is an increased magnetic potency. The planetary life is in fact in its deepest point of meditation and at its place of highest contact with the solar life. So once again, just as we, personality lining up with the soul, the planetary life is lining up with its greater life of which it is a part, the solar life. And so at this time, there is this energetic pathway linking us on Earth with those greater beings in this unbounded and limitless nested universe of lives that we call the universe of life. So we are really, in our own small way, aligning with the boundless source of creation. We are part of this scalar continuum. And it's said that in particular, the full moon is an opportune time for strengthening the working relationship between the human realm where we live, which is also known as the fourth kingdom, and the realm of the soul, known as the fifth kingdom. And the realm of the soul is a more refined dimension where those who've graduated the fourth realm, the human experience, dwell, because they fully embody the qualities of the soul. I call it the abode of postgraduate humans, because in fact this fifth realm, or this realm of the soul, will also be our home in time as we evolve, as we raise our frequency and gain entry into this level of consciousness that is the fifth realm, the kingdom of souls. So having said that, allow me to offer some introductory words about the sign of Cancer. It's a water sign in which the, quote, the purificatory waters of experience begin their beneficent work. So Cancer is the sign of the crab, which is a slow-moving creature who carries a house upon its back, both on land, which represents the physical plane, and in the sea, symbolizing the waters of the emotional plane. The life pattern of the crab demonstrates the characteristics of this sign, for like the creature who not only seeks the safety and security of its shell, but also likes to hide under rocks, it's said that those influenced by the energies of this constellation prefer to hide away from the light, from public attention, rather than walk openly on the shores of life. So generally speaking, the Cancer-influenced person is a home lover who tends to build a shell around themselves where they can safely reside. So this is neither good nor bad, it's just the tendency to create home. So Cancer has an important role to play in the unfoldment of the divine pattern as it bestows upon us that which has been called the ability to respond to contacts coming from all points of the compass and from every angle of the zodiacal wheel, from that which is within as well as from that which is without. Basically, Cancer allows us to be sensitive to everything, everywhere, at all times. So it's a sign of great sensitivity. So Cancer has the potential of being a powerful agent of the life of the spirit because it plays a significant role in connection with the law of rebirth, because it's one of the gateways into life on the form level. It is, in fact, a birthing sign. And we mentioned this last time at the first Cancer full moon, how it's interesting to note the cycles of the seasons and how they progress each month through the zodiac. So when we're having the full moon in Cancer, it's not just an isolated incident. It's part of this whole universal process of manifestation. So let me briefly recap where we are now. So way back in Aries, at the beginning of the spiritual year, we invoked the fire of the heavens to reignite, to resurrect, and to renew life on earth. Then in the earth sign of Taurus, where the blessings of the Buddha were brought to earth, the light supernal was anchored into the atoms of the planet. And then next month, in the air sign of Gemini, heaven and earth were connected by Mercury. And Mercury is the appointed messenger of the gods, who quickens and makes fertile the union between the two worlds of the eternal and the temporal. So once you've got all that connected, you're ready for birth. So now we've arrived in the water sign of Cancer, this second full moon in Cancer, where birth takes place inside its fluid and feeling waters. I just want to mention about an ancient correlation to the process of birth that affects us as human beings, that also occurs through this particular zodiacal portal of Cancer. We're told in the Ageless Wisdom teachings that over 18 million years ago, humankind was born in the age of Cancer. Just as we are entering now the age of Aquarius, way back when we appeared as a consciousness on the planet, it was in the age of Cancer, this meta birthing sign. So 18 million years ago, it said there was a momentous evolutionary event when the Promethean fire of self-reflective mind entered the animal-human form, and for the first time, all three aspects of the one life, the spirit, the soul, and the matter, now live together inside one conscious package. So that's why you could look at us human beings as the microcosmic trinity, the three in one. And therefore, it's said that the human experience that we are going through is that of being an active and expressive fractal of the greater one life. So let me just add a couple of thoughts to this. Those who are familiar with the Bible and other ancient scriptures know that we are said to be made in the image and likeness of the Creator. And there is contained the secret to our destined role as co-creators, and it's also a clue to our divine bridging function within the ecosystem of this planet. Somehow we are the microcosm of the macrocosm that awakens the greater life inside the smaller sphere of life. It's suggested that the enlightened human consciousness forms the rainbow bridge connecting heaven and earth. And once this rainbow bridge is established, you have a process that is initiated called the process of self-realization, a consciousness that knows that it knows. And that's what distinguishes the animal consciousness from a human consciousness. Animals know, they have a sense. Humans know that they know. That's how it's differentiated. So through this process of self-realization, this birth, the one is able to consciously re-merge and consciously reunite with itself. So the one knows itself as the one. So let's talk about some of the energies associated with the sign of Cancer. The exoteric ruler or outer ruler is the moon, but the moon actually veils Neptune, because Neptune is the esoteric or inner ruler. And Neptune is said to be a mysterious planet that exerts a great influence on the astral and the Buddhic vehicles, thus enhancing the Cancerian receptivity. So our astral or emotional body and our Buddhic or intuitive bodies are ones that are very sensitive. They pick up, they feel, they intuit. So we have this very sensitive equipment. And in this sign, they're heightened. Now, those of you who are familiar with the seven rays, it may be useful to look at Neptune, because Neptune is said to carry the sixth ray energy of idealism and devotion, which means that it emphasizes an expression of the law of service, because you're devoted to carrying out a higher call. Neptune's also one of the synthesizing planets. It pulls things together, and this emphasizes the capacity to be in touch and sensitive to mass consciousness. So once again, in Cancer, there's this great sensitivity to mass consciousness. And it's as though right now on the planet, everyone is able to feel what's going on. It's a heightened awareness. And I think all of us are experiencing that at the moment. So it's not just the sixth ray that works through Neptune. It's said that there is an influence of the fourth ray of harmony through conflict, as well as the seventh ray of synthesis, and also the third ray of active intelligence. So it's a meeting place for many of these energies. So there are several opportunities that are made available to us in Cancer, such as manifestation on the form level. It's a birthing sign. Also, the transmutation of sensitivity from the lower unrefined sensitivity to the higher, more refined intuitive knowing. Cancer also allows us to resolve the issue of isolation, which is the breaking the tendency to hide under a rock, which is a Cancerian tendency, as well as allowing us to renew our lives and dedicate our lives to serving the good of the whole. So you could say that Cancer invites us to radiate our light out into the world and not hide this divine gift. Don't hide your light under a bushel or under a rock. Shine on, shine your light. So as I just said, sensitivity to mass consciousness and the greater environment is a prominent characteristic of this sign. So I want to, every now and again, we quote from some of the esoteric teachings, and I'd like to quote from the book by Alice Bailey on esoteric astrology, because it talks about the moon and Neptune. And for those of you who are not familiar with this, don't worry, you'll pick it up at some deep level of what it means. So here's what is written. It should be noted that both Neptune and Jupiter are exalted in Cancer, the great sign wherein the desire for incarnation finds its fulfillment. Once again, this is where humanity was born. Cancer is the only other sign which is ruled by only one planet, though in Orthodox astrology, the moon is substituted for Neptune because it is the form nature which is dominant in the longest stage of human unfoldment, just as esoterically, it is the feeling, sensitive nature which dominates the average person. It is with this stable tendency that the disciple has to wrestle. In the mass mind, of which Cancer is the truest expression, it's fortunate that Neptune is veiled by the moon and that the form fails to register or step down many of the impacts to which the true person is sensitive. Average humanity is not yet fully equipped to bear the full range of these impacts, to handle them constructively or to transmute them and interpret them accurately. So it's basically saying, if we were to be impacted by everything that's flowing through the universe, it would sort of blow a fuse. And so this veiling of Neptune by the moon allows us to have feelings, but not to be overwhelmed. And then it ends, this quote ends by saying, upon the path of discipleship and along the line of esoteric development, one of the major difficulties and great problems of the disciple is their extreme sensitivity to impacts from every side and their rapid ability to respond to context coming from, and this is the sentence that we quoted before, all points of the compass, from every angle of the zodiacal wheel, and from that which is within, as well as from that which is without, from that which lies above, below, and upon every hand. So this is a time of great sensitivity. The other thing to say about the signs of the zodiac is each of them carry a special quality of light. And pouring through the constellation of Cancer is a quality of light which is called the light within the form. So once again, it's bringing light into form, which is what incarnation is, to make flesh, to bring the light into matter. And this particular light really is reflected again in the spiritual motto of Cancer. So if you were to understand the motto of this sign, you'd understand how light is brought into matter, because the spiritual motto is, I build a lighted house and therein dwell. I build a lighted house and therein dwell. So what does it mean to build a lighted house? On an individual level, it's the spiritual work that each of us is called to do to build a temple in which the radiant presence of the soul can reside on earth. For instance, the true work of Freemasonry is said to be the building of this sacred temple of self. And this temple is made up of an outer court, an inner court, and the Sancta Sanctorum, the Holy of Holies, where the sacred fire of our true nature is housed. So building this lighted house is the task ahead. And as we work on fashioning our own individual lighted houses, our communities can then become lighted houses as well, because they're an aggregate of our own lighted being. They become microclimates of what I would call heart-lighted caring and sharing on the planet. I believe the great task in front of us as humanity is the building of the temple of our new humanity. Our task together is to construct a lighted house in which we can dwell, in which we can flourish, in which we can fulfill our destiny. Whether this be construed as light bringers or bridges between heaven and earth, or that which brings light into matter. So there's a lot contained in Cancer that has to do with birth, has to do with bringing light into matter, and also building this lighted house. So I've sort of offered quite a number of musings, and I probably should stop there. That's enough, because I also want to invite my good friend and co-worker Diana, who's a very accomplished astrologer, to also offer any insight she has on the constellation of Cancer and what's happening now. And I'm invited to do this before leading us in today's group meditation. So over to you, Diana.
Thank you, Michael. Wonderful to be here tonight. It's 110 degrees here in Woodland Hills in the west coast of California. So we're all trying to stay cool. And it's a good metaphor, right, for the time. There's a lot to say about the astrology for this full moon. And in all those beautiful words that Michael shared, we also remember that while we're in solar Cancer, we're also, the full moon is in the opposite side, Capricorn. And so there's a big tension between emotions and sensitivity and feelings and reality, kind of grim reality, stark reality, facing reality. So this kind of polarization is happening in our lives in different ways. And so part of what we need to do is manage our emotions, right? And to keep them in check and to keep them alive and known, and yet also not emoting, right? Knowing what our emotions even are. So with the full moon, Cancer, Capricorn, there's a lot of sensitivities out there, as Michael explained. And that it's a blue moon also makes this a potent Cancer, Capricorn, Capricorn. We're getting a double hit. And so I wanted to share the chart this time because it might be interesting to see what it looks like, so you can get a sense of like what we're actually looking at it in the sky. And what we have here is, here's the sun in Cancer, and here's the moon in Capricorn, and it is exact 29 to 29, and it would always be exact like that when it's the exact full moon, which, by the way, is tonight at 3:17 a.m. on the West Coast. And so wherever you are, you have to make an adjustment for that. But on the West Coast, it's at 3:17 a.m. tonight. And so that's when this is exact. And so what we've got going here is this intense, as always, sun moon opposition with Pluto, minutes apart from 0 degrees to 29, the last degree. When there's a blue moon, the first moon, full moon, would have been at the first degree of Cancer, and in the second moon in the same sign would be in the last degree of Cancer. And so there it is at 29. That's the last degree of Cancer, conjuncting Pluto. So this is an extremely intense time. And I also want to say it's a kind of beautiful opportunity time too. This is not, it feels worse than it is. There are so many things that we can do with the energies that are happening right now. I'm calling this the do-over moon, meaning you get another chance to kind of work out maybe what was still trying to be worked out last month into this month. And see, these are some of the questions that to ponder, that this is very serious right now, but we know what to expect because we've already been through this territory and we are so ready, right, to make our collective next step. So one of the questions you can ask yourself right now is, what am I committed to? And really committed to, like, what will forever change and shape the rest of our lives, because things are really changing now. And so we're still in that shaping process, in that shaping time when we can actually still move the energy. It's not done yet, and it's not fixed, and it's not fated. It's just leaning in a certain direction, and we can still shape that energy a lot in our own lives and in the world. So it's important, and why we meditate is to keep holding the note, right? Holding the energy up to redeem the matter, whatever is happening around us, and perhaps chaos around that you are perceiving, or inner turmoil inside ourselves, to redeem that matter and to return to the calm and to become that lighted house in this solar Cancer time. So we become a lighted house, and in another metaphor, we become a lighthouse. So it's powerful, right? The lighthouse shows the way. It shows where, how to avoid the land so the boat doesn't crash into the land. There's a point of light. You become a point of light on the planet when you meditate, when we meditate, and especially when we meditate together. So that's a perfect transition to move now into our meditation. So set yourself up how you like to be, and just take a moment to organize yourself into this time and space, noticing your own energies and your own emotions, particularly your own feelings right now, which may be very up right now, up for healing. I want to say up for healing and real change within our own self, within our own personality. So with the breath, we'll organize the physical body with a breath. And I want you to imagine all the tension coming out of your shoulders and neck and spine and legs and feet and everywhere. Inhale. And as you exhale, balancing the physical body. Om. And take a special care now as we begin to balance the emotional body, to take some time with this, whatever the turbulent water might be. That as you take a breath, inhale, you exhale and balance the emotional body. Om. And finally, using your breath once again to balance the mental body in all its constancy and all its busyness and all its energy. Take a breath, inhale, and as you exhale, balance the mental body of the personality. Om. Feeling yourself come into calm. Calm body, calm heart, calm mind. And you take your seat then in the center of the heart, connecting to the mother of the world. And from the center of your heart chakra, linking and connecting to all other hearts, heart to heart, to heart to heart. Building a group auric chalice container for this meditation. And from the point at the center of the heart, allow a line of light to move up and into the head center, awakening the head center, feeling the light of that diamond within the heart of mind. And as you breathe through that center gently, feel that light grow brighter, grow brighter. And brighter still. Sensing the soul. And recognizing that direct link to the masters and teachers. That pure, living, loving consciousness that is ever guiding, a cosmic lighthouse. That moves to the heart of the sun and connects all the way to the heart of Sirius. Light to light to light to light, gets more abstract, to light to light. And as we move into the silence for about 10 minutes, we'll use the seed thought that was connected to the last seed thought for the first part of the blue moon, which is by light we are illumined. And our seed thought for tonight is simply illumination. 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 Light infused. Light filled. Light aware. Light offering. Emanating this energy, this light, in a 360-degree circle from you, from us, that shines to infinity, to all things, to anything that comes to mind, people, places, situations. Letting this radiance bless the world as we offer this together. This permeating light of the divine plan. Remembering the phrase in the great invocation, let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And so we'll end with the great invocation now, followed by 3 ohms. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into all human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Diana. Illumination. We are messengers of light. We are carriers of light. In fact, our burden is light. So let's conclude with a blessing utilizing the light of Cancer, which is the light within form. As we focused during this meditation, we are bringing light into matter. We are releasing the light of matter. So let us infuse and purify the physical, the emotional, and the mental matter out of which we will build this lighted temple of our one humanity on earth. And as we normally do, we're going to be sending out 3 waves of blessing with the sounding of the Tibetan bowl. And the first wave is dispensing the light of love from our heart to all parts of the world. And we see this light dispel the darkness of ignorance, the darkness of separation. And we see the field being purified and sanctified for the building of this temple. So hold this image in your mind's eye and in your heart. The light of love from our heart, dispelling the darkness of ignorance and separation. And we send a second wave of light. This is the light of love that issues forth from the heart of the Mother of the world, the Mother who holds all life in her substantial embrace of unconditional love, and through whom all life is birthed. So as we send out this light of love from the heart of the Mother aspect, we see and feel her love permeating the hearts of all our sisters and brothers in the human family. And we conclude our blessing with a third wave. This time we send out a powerful beam of light from the heart of our group, and we visualize this light condensing, taking shape as the temple of the new era, the temple in which one humanity may dwell, the lighted house of our collective soul that reflects the sacred geometry of the heavens on earth. Let us assume responsibility for being the co-creative agents of the One, the builders of the temple of light. So as we send out this third and final blessing of light from our heart, we see the temple of the new humanity being constructed as the promise of our future. So thank you everyone for your presence and participation in this global meditation. These are times when light is needed in the planet, when light is needed in our own lives, and therefore this is a time to be the light bearers. And so on behalf of Diana, Joey, who works magic behind the scenes to make this broadcast possible, and the whole stewardship team here at Meditation Mount, I extend our deep gratitude and our blessings and wish you all a good night from the Ojai Valley in Southern California. Namaste.